Hi, I'm Felipe with Garrick Solutions, and we're going to talk about why is there a need for efficiencies. And I want to draw some parallels to engineering specifically. These thoughts have been in my mind for quite a bit of time. When it comes to processes, regardless of whether you're in manufacturing or providing services, it's really important to understand that there is a possibility of continuously improving. So whether you've been doing a certain role for a certain while or the company has existed for a long period of time, it's always important to rethink things. And why is this important? So I'll lead into that. So think of any process that you're doing, regardless of how efficient it is, it can always be better. Because what you want to look at is you don't want to look at, you don't want to look at pain points where there aren't any, but just think in a very open-minded, in a very creative way. As a child, like children are always very curious, and there are no rules, there are no boundaries. And that's why one beautiful thing about children is that they ask all these different questions because they're interested in everything, and there's no boundaries there is no wrong question as a child. So keep that in mind as you're looking at your organization, because ultimately those creative questions are what going to lead to potential opportunities. And from an engineering standpoint, or whether you're a company that manufactures or any service that you do, is, first of all, it's how long does it take to complete a process, and is there a way that I can reduce the time taken to manufacture the same number of products? Or let's say, can I reduce, so time in production. But the other thing is, when you think about time and efficiencies, it's not only the process itself of having things, but it's also resources, So whether you're producing something for consumers or your customers, is there a way to reduce waste? So for example, in sheet metal, so for example, in a manufacturing process, how much sheet metal is left? Is it better to change to another material that reduces waste, that has less of that waste, which means that you can become more optimized with the materials that you use. So for example, if you purchase a different type of material or a different type of composite that has less waste, if you think about it, when you're making the purchase of those materials to process for your end customer, you're actually being more efficient because you're saving more money versus buying a cheaper product that has less waste, that has more waste, I'm sorry. So think about that. And also another thing is resources. So remember, manufacturing or production or any service that you do, it's labor intensive. So think about the time spent from your valuable resources from different teams in your organization, and what that takes to overcome or to produce or to finish or to get that finalized product, whether it's a service, whether it's something that's customized for your customer, or whether you're manufacturing something, for distribution or sale. So think about that. Just efficiencies lead to savings in manufacturing, in production costs. You can become more efficient in producing more in less time. You can help reduce waste, and also you can reduce time use by your resources. So if you have open capacity, then can you produce more? Then you're increasing your output of your plant, of your factory, of your warehouse. The throughput of let's say a logistics company, like how many shipments can I handle a day? So if you're able to become more efficient in your process, then now the team members that are in the warehouse can become more efficient in getting containers out faster, unloading and offloading, loading in a truck, repalletizing, things like that. So these are just some examples to plant on, why is it important to continue to look at your processes in your organization and find ways to improve them. There's always room for improvement, which is, in a way, it's really exciting because there's always ways to be better. And it's just, from my personal opinion, whenever I find a challenge, it just sparks my interest to try to find little ways to be better. Remember, every inch counts. Little by little, you will get to a larger goal or a larger milestone. So remember to keep that goal. It's nothing negative, but just think about it that if you're always sitting still, then you're never evolving. And unfortunately, with the way that the world is and how everyone is competitive, it's about keeping ahead. It's about looking forward. I want to end with a quote by Jeff Bezos, who's a person that I greatly admire. And when he was interviewed, what does he look for? What's his strategy? And what he said is he doesn't think between 5 to 10 years from now. He thinks 5 to 10 years from now. So when they asked Jeff Bezos, what is he currently thinking about? He says, I don't think about the now, I think about 5 to 10 years from now. So he has a strategic vision of where he wants the company to be. And you can apply that in your own case, in your own role, for your own organization or for your own business. And also one thing one favorite phrase that he said is, I don't look at what's in front of me, I look at what's around the corner. So think about that. Where is your industry going? What are a lot of your peers or your competitors implementing? And think ahead. Don't implement that technology. Maybe is there something that's better that's coming up? If you're doing a large financial investment, or there's a big commitment, or it takes a lot of time to implement, then maybe think about what's that next step. Where do you want to be? Where do you see your industry going in the next 5 to 10 years? And then prepare for that, because what that's going to do is that's going to be your North Star for strategy and planning. And then if you don't plan and you don't have a goal, it's very difficult to attain and to measure. Before you know it, time flies, and you haven't moved this fast enough. So that's why it's important to have those goals and kind of have that North Star to guide you of continuously improving. Recently I saw an image of Blockbuster. So the logo a few years back, some of you might not remember it. So it was a company that was founded on renting DVDs and video games, and just video content. And how the world changed, and now everything is online. So these are just a couple of seeds to plant on how you can improve your processes. And you should always look into getting better. Have a wonderful day. Take care.